Africa to the world. That's the big dream, actually. That's what people say all the time. That's what we pray for, like our big artists like Bonner and Wizkid. The prayer is for them to go global, to reach a wider audience. That's our prayer. But you see, Beyonce has taken African music to the world. Now we're calling it cultural appropriation. Yeah, so whatever though. My name is Chizoba Adiola. You're welcome to my channel, and yes, we're totally having this conversation. Okay guys, today we're going to address all the controversy around Black is King. I just really want to chat about it because there's appreciation and a lot of love, but there's always also a lot of anger and a lot of hate. The first conversation people are having is that Beyonce is appropriating culture / she's a culture vulture. And can I talk about that quickly? Anytime people say cultural appropriation, I also think about, what about the weaves and the weave-ons and the Brazilian hair? Is that not like cultural appropriation as well? I don't know. Correct me. And so what about the movies we watch, like 300? Remember 300, the movie? And the Odyssey and all these other movies about Greek gods fighting. Are we also supposed to, what about if the Greeks should say, no, you cannot make movies about Odyssey, it's cultural appropriation? I don't know, can you relax, guys? It's entertainment, okay? Most of this, we complain so much about cultural appropriation, but do you know that many Nigerians, many Africans want to be white? Do you know how many African families have taken up white names like Robertson and Johnson and Williams? It is culture that we're crying about. We don't even like it that much. In Nigeria, if you have an Igbotic accent, people say, she has an Igbotic accent, very thick. She has very thick Yoruba accent. But we respect people who have British and American accent. So this culture we're talking about, it's not like we're that into it. So I feel like people just want to be angry about something. Some people just want to have quick takes and, have an opinion. And another point is Beyonce cannot appropriate a culture that already has. Yeah, Beyonce is of African descent. The only difference between Beyonce and a Black American versus a Black that lives in Africa is that probably when the slave dealers came, to capture people, your own forefathers ran into the pits or went to go and hide in the farms, while the Black Americans and their own family were caught. Most of the slaves came from Ghana, Ivory Coast, Gambia, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and they moved all the slaves that they caught to Ghana and onto the door of no returns before they put them into the ship. So when they want to come back home and find their roots and find their ancestries and find their, and find their African connection, we now go like, no, you're not African, you're appropriation culture. No, that's nonsense. We need to be more sympathetic because these are people who are lost, but they want to be found. But this is more on the emotional side because they don't owe you anything. They don't need to sign the dotted lines. It's homecoming. It's not cultural appropriation. I don't know if you get what I mean. The third point is that, one thing that is coming to bear is that, you think racism sometimes is overrated. But times like this is when you realize that, man, this issue is real. This stuff is real. Like, white people are legit mad. They've called it all sorts of names. They've called it black supremacy. They've accused Beyonce of, pushing a black supremacy agenda, that all those kings are, it's just nonsense. They're saying that black people used to be kings is rubbish. And they went to IMDb movie, it's a place where people, do like a movie scorecard, and they were giving her 1/10 and calling it disgusting, crap, waste. White people were legit, some were legit angry. And even though I agree that the name Black is King is controversial, but I just feel the anger and the outrage is over the entire piece of work is unfounded. Because when we have movies like 12 Years a Slave, they call it a work of art. When we have movies like Sarafina, Those movies win Oscars. So they are not tired of black stories being told as stories about slavery. You know, how many Oscars Lupita Nyong'o won for 12 Years a Slave? So that was her first Oscar. Those movies are referred to as classics because it portrays black people as a slave. But many white people right now cannot deal with a movie that is portraying the kingship of Africa. And I think that's also on you, many Nigerians that are calling out Beyonce. Did you call out 12 Years a Slave? Did you call out Sarafina? Did you cringe when you watched movies like Harriet? Don't you get tired of being portrayed as a slave? Don't you want to see other stuff? I saw someone on Twitter, one slay queen on Instagram. She was like, Beyonce should stop this Wakandizing, making Africa the whole Wakandization conversation, and it's more like Africans do normal stuff, like wake up in the morning and go on Twitter. But she's talking about history. She's trying to tell the world that Africa had a glorious history. It's history. We all see Game of Thrones and they fight with swords and machetes and say, ha, ha, ha. That's historic and we love it. We love all those historic ancient movies. So why is it that when the history is about African culture, we're like, please stop this Wakandization of Africa? That's really what it was. She's trying to tell stories that are not in the history books. The king of Mali used to be the richest man in the world, but the history books don't talk about the king of Mali. They rather talk about Africans as blacks and slaves. The history books don't talk about the fact that Sudan is one of the most ancient, and Ethiopia is one of the most ancient civilizations in the world. The history books don't talk about the fact that Sudan and that Ethiopia was never colonized. That in fact, when I think it was Italy, they defeated Italy more than once in a battle when the Italians were trying to colonize them. Yeah, so there are so many glorious African stories that are not covered in the history books and that are not talked about on mainstream media. Okay, so can we talk about the fact that people are accusing her of capitalism, like it's about money for her? Do you know that it's easier? Let me tell you the best place to be. The best place to be is mainstream. Because when Beyonce was like, sweet dreams are a beautiful nightmare, she had white fans and she had black fans and everybody loved her. But when Beyonce came out as black, like, I got her sauce in my bag, swag, or when she did the whole Black Panther movement in the stadium, on formation, and when she did, when she came out, like truly came out and expressed her black roots, like you mix the Negro with the Creole, makes a Texas Bama. People were like, no, this issue is too black for me. Beyonce lost fans. She lost fans because of her Afrocentric movement, and anytime she makes Afrocentric songs, it doesn't hit like her former songs where she was bootylicious and to the left kind of thing. So she's not making more money being, embracing African content. She's just following her heart, and also, which is also a good thing for Africa because it's taking our music to the world stage. I don't know really what else we want, like seriously, In summary, I feel like right now a lot of people need to go to www.getbeyonce'skidney.com or www.getbeyoncesliver.com because at this point you want her to give you a part of her body. You really want her to open her tummy and give you a part because, girl, she's tried. She's done everything she can for Africans abroad and for Black Americans and for Africans. Do you know that she sold the website? She shared businesses of Nigerians and South Africans on her page. She never tried. She also, it was because of her that they used the first ever Black Vogue photographer. During her photo shoot, she used a black photographer for her photo shoot. Has she not tried? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. She's tried. I feel like she used black artists. She's paying them royalties. She used black directors. She's paying them. She used black people in Africa, in South Africa, and a lot of black people are going to be paid. because of her project. So I mean, what extra do you want her to do? Like seriously, you know, she's not going to solve all of Africa's problem, but she's making a step. So I feel like rather than criticize her, you should use your own platform to make a change where you can. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, now. There's one other topic that people have been talking about. I'm going to talk about that in another video, because for me to add that conversation in this video is going to be too long. You guys are going to just go off from me. You understand? So in the next video, I'm going to talk about, you know, the African deities that she recognized in her video and what it really means. You know, does Beyonce practice witchcraft? You know, is witchcraft being normalized? Those are the kind of conversations I'm going to have in the very next video, and I hope you watch it. All right, thank you for watching. My name is Chisoba Adiola. I put out mostly Nigerian content and occasionally African content, and if you like this kind of conversations, you can subscribe to my channel, make a comment on this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again in the very next video. Bye.